The birds are out there again. They love us.
They literally weren't even there, were they? Now they're back. It's like a weird mix of little finches. And I think those blackbirds that I was telling you about that were trying to give me gifts were starlings, right?
Kara, I don't know anything about birds. I know flamingos.
Oh, yeah, you know flamingos.
I know
Peacocks,
ostriches, peacocks.
hummingbirds.
I can tell those apart.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Emus.
No, I'm not sure about the difference between an emu and an ostrich. They look the same to me.
Do they?
So maybe I shouldn't put either of them on my list.
Ooh, yeah.
Penguins. I know penguins.
Ooh, those are adorable. Don't ostriches have like the big white necks and grayish wings? They're big and like fluffy. They still all look like dinosaur feet.
Hey guys.
Oh, hey.
This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, Mystery Podcast.
I'm Kara.
And guess what? It is Tuesday.
Oh my gosh.
We just have a little extra episode for you we thought we'd throw in here.
Yes.
We're going to do that every now and then.
Just little funs for funsies.
Just because.
Just because we love y'all.
There's a witchy holiday coming up
Oh my gosh.
on February 1st.
I love these.
This is Imbolc.
Mm-hmm.
Imbolc, also known as St. Brigid's Day. And it's Brigid, Brigid. Rhymes with frigid, which is what it is in this room right now.
Is the temperature at the moment.
So Imbolc marks the beginning of spring. We're halfway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. I'm happy. We're getting
so
close.
Excited.
So
the warmness is near.
The warmth is
Where's
coming.
the groundhog?
We get into the 40s next week here, and we're all just acting like it's going to be summer. We're going to go out in our shorts and tank tops because it's been so cold. You
I
guys,
guarantee
40
you
degrees.
we will see some people doing that.
For sure. 40 is going to feel like a heat wave.
It really is, and I cannot wait.
Imbolc is a celebration of the fact that we have survived the darkest days of winter, and the earth is preparing to burst into life. I love how all of these witchy holidays, they're all tied into nature. That's the whole point. And so I like how it celebrates the different parts of the cycle because they're all important.
Right. Yeah.
Like the cycle we're in right now where we've been in winter, which is all about rest and reflection.
Hibernation.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling bad because you haven't accomplished much this winter, remind yourself, winter is not for accomplishing.
It's really okay to just be a little stagnant.
Yeah. Winter is for being a slug. That is the point.
Yeah.
You're supposed to. The earth said so. Look around. Everything else is asleep. You should be too.
Right?
Why are we awake right now?
I don't even
know.
doing anything.
Okay. Notice that I said the earth is preparing to burst into life. That's something we keep coming back to. Imbolc.
Also, I don't know how far along you are in the book that we're reading or listening to. Have you even started it?
No.
No. Okay.
Kara, I forgot that we were even doing that. You just said that.
Okay. Well, there's this cute little part. I don't want to give too much away where something happens in the woods because they're witches and something happens in the woods. And she's like, it literally is like a creature. Like it has come to life. It is, breathing, in these different seasons. She's talking about it. And she's like, in this season, it's doing this. And this season, it's literally like on fire. Like it's just doing all these things. And you're like, oh my gosh, it is.
So you all know that book I talk about all the time, The Seasonal Soul. I didn't actually pull that one out for this episode, but it does such a great job of reminding you of all the different seasons and how it's important to just remember, like, we're natural beings. Like, we also come from nature. And it just makes sense to go through these cycles.
It's not just animals that do it. It's not just plants. It's not just,
animals operate on instinct, and we have those same instincts. It's just we've learned to bury them and not listen to our intuition and to feel bad if we're not producing 100% of the time.
Yeah, we're not.
It's okay.
24/7. Yeah.
So Imbolc isn't an end to that rest time. It's more like this is the time we start thinking about what we're going to do.
Yeah,
we're not doing it yet.
Yeah.
We're just making plans because we know at some point we're going to have to make some moves and take action. So we're dreaming. Think about it like we're going to plant a garden, maybe an actual garden, or maybe just metaphorically.
Yes.
I don't know your life, but
here's your vision.
We know it's too early to really put plants into the ground, but we're still planning out the garden.
You can start those seeds.
Yeah. So what things do you want?
Incubate your thoughts.
What things do you want to plant and harvest this year? In modern day life, Imbolc is a great time to reflect and think about where you want to go in the next few months. So the word Imbolc is Celtic for in the belly or in the womb.
The womb, not rabbits.
So this is like plans that are still needing some cooking time. Yeah. They're coming and you're getting ready for them. So remove the obstacles that you can already see, clear the energies that are standing in your way so that when it's time to start, you can just start.
You mean you've shoveled that path?
Mm-hmm.
That
That metaphorical snow. So I always used to say back when I was in my book writing time that you could always tell
book writing.
when I was coming up on a deadline because suddenly my house was spotless.
Mhm.
Every closet was cleaned out.
Yeah.
Like I would find everything else in the world to do.
To do but that, yeah.
Right. This reminds me of that. So like if I know that there is something I need to organize or clean out, I would go ahead and start doing that now.
Yes.
So that it won't be something that distracts me from
Right,
the
and
real
it's
goals
not
later.
a stressful experience or event at that moment. When
Right.
it gets here,
Right.
you're prepared for it.
The whole point is that when we hit Austera, which is like the beginning of spring,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll do an episode then too,
I can't wait.
you want to be able to go at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when we are excited
You
because
need
everything's
all
coming to
your
life and you're
eggs in a
blooming.
basket. I can't. I cannot.
And rabbits are
Yeah.
like a symbol of Austera.
Easter
So,
Bunny.
so
People hate us right now.
you
They're
guys,
like,
if you
what are
haven't-
we listening to?
whatever that episode is about the rabbits, it's called There's Something About Mary, but I can't think of,
Mary Toft's womb.
yeah, Mary Toft, man. Read about her. But we've got an episode about her
Yeah.
too. It's a wild one.
It's something.
So Imbolc is mentioned in early Irish literature, and some evidence suggests that it was also an important date in ancient times.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2023, it's actually been an annual public holiday in Ireland, which I'll talk more about that later. Ireland has really done some cool things
I didn't realize
surrounding it. So like I said, it's also known as St. Brigid's Day. So who is Brigid?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you asked.
I'm sure a wonderful, beautiful being.
Yes. She's said to have lived in the 6th century and founded the important monastery of Kildare. There are very few historical facts about her, and a lot of what we do know is mainly anecdotes and miracle stories,
Mhm.
some of which are deeply rooted in pagan folklore, which is to say there's some uncertainty around whether she was an actual person, or it's also suggested that she's based on the Celtic goddess Brigid,
Ooh.
who is the goddess of inspiration and creativity, healing, blacksmithing, poetry,
Oh my
and
gosh.
domesticated animals.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like I said, it's also possible she was an actual person.
Yeah.
And the lore of the goddess was like
Mhm.
transferred to her.
Right. Exactly.
So Brigid is one of Ireland's 3 patron saints. The Catholic Church claims that Saint Brigid was a historical person who really lived,
Mhm.
with accounts of her life written by monks dating back to the 8th century.
Oh.
Whether or
That'd
not
be
she
something
existed.
to have like monks write about your life.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure they will
They-
about us
That
someday.
is, yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully favorably. But whether or not she existed, these stories contain aspects in common with the details of the pagan goddess and illustrate the transition from pagan to Christian worship, which we see all the time.
Yeah,
A whole lot
everywhere.
of the Christian holidays started as pagan holidays.
Right. Yeah.
And people don't like to hear it,
Mhm.
but it's just history.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
These things don't
It
have to be
all
mutually
can-
exclusive.
But it can all blend.
That's
and
what
it's
I'm saying.
totally fine. You're fine and it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah. There's no reason to separate
No.
and act like you have to pretend that the historical facts are not there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have to ignore historical facts to keep believing your beliefs,
Yeah.
maybe you should examine your beliefs. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about who Saint Brigid was, according to the Catholic Church. Just like the goddess Brigid, Saint Brigid is associated with milk and fire. Born in Ireland around 453 AD, Saint Brigid was the daughter of a slave and a chieftain who was celebrated at an early age for her agricultural knowledge.
Ooh, I
With-
love her.
No interest in marrying. Her goal was to create a monastery in Kildare, supposedly the former site of a shrine to the Celtic goddess of the same name, and Brigid lived her entire life there. She was renowned for her charity to the poor, and stories abound about her healing powers. She was a friend of St. Patrick, whose preaching set her on a course at an early age, and she became Ireland's first nun.
Oh.
St. Brigid is said to have died in 524 AD. The remains of her skull and hand are claimed to be in the possession of churches in Portugal.
Oh, okay.
So, from the 18th to 20th century, many St. Brigid's Day traditions were recorded by folklorists and other writers. Here are some of the ways that it has been celebrated over time. Brigid's crosses are made on St. Brigid's Day. A Brigid's cross usually consists of 2 rushes woven into 4-armed equilateral cross. So I was like, what's a rush?
Right.
Okay, I feel like that's a word that maybe in other parts of the world
Yeah.
people know exactly what it
Yeah.
means. It's any of several flowering plants distinguished by like stalks that are hollow.
Oh, okay.
So like hay,
Yeah.
you know, but not necessarily. It's not always hay, but hay would be in that category.
Yeah.
So these Brigid's crosses are traditionally hung over doors, windows, and stables to welcome Brigid and for protection against fire, lightning, illness, and evil spirits.
Oh.
The crosses are generally left there until the next Brigid's Day.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know. So on St. Brigid's Eve, Brigid was said to visit virtuous households and bless the inhabitants. Before going to bed, people would leave out like clothing or strips of cloth outside for her to bless.
Oh.
And the next morning, they would bring those back inside. And those are now believed to have powers of healing and protection.
Oh, wow.
Brigid would be symbolically invited into the house, and a bed would often be made for her. So
She can take a little nap.
in different parts of the like areas that celebrated this, there were kind of different ways of doing that. In some places, a family member would represent Brigid and would circle the home 3 times carrying rushes, and they would knock the door 3 times, asking to be let in. On the 3rd attempt, they're welcomed in, they have a meal, and then the rushes are then made into the crosses, and then those are put on the bed for Brigid.
Oh.
In 18th century, I'm not saying any of the places because I don't know how to pronounce them. In another place where they do this, the custom was to stand at the door with a bundle of rushes and say, Brigid, Brigid, come to my house tonight, open the door, and let Brigid come in.
Because it feels just right.
Yeah. So everybody wanted to make sure that Brigid knew that she was welcome into their home because she was believed to come in and bring like blessings and healing.
Right.
In Ireland and Scotland, a representation of Brigid would be paraded around the community by girls and young women. Usually it was a doll made out of like rushes or reeds. The girls would carry it in procession. They'd sing a hymn about Brigid. They'd all wear white. And then they would visit every house in the area where they would get food or some sort of decoration for Brigid. And then at the end, there was a big feast. At that point, when they were done eating, then the young men got to be involved.
Oh.
So this whole thing is like it's all women or young girls.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the young men get to ask for admission. And then they would join the girls in the dancing. So it's like a big party, you know. I like how it's like these things that have been done for centuries. Like any of these like celebrations that are just truly ancient.
Traditions
so
carried
cool
on.
to me.
Yeah.
More recently, Irish embassies have hosted yearly events on St. Brigid's Day to celebrate famous women of the Irish heritage, no matter where they are now in the world.
Oh, I love that.
And to showcase the work of Irish female immigrants in the arts. I know.
That's so cool.
So in 2022, Dublin hosted its first Brigid Festival, celebrating the contributions of Irish women, past and present, through exhibitions, tours, lectures, films, and a concert.
Okay, Dublin.
Yeah. So like I said, in 2023, it became a national holiday. A government statement noted that it would be the first Irish public holiday named after a woman and means that all 4 of the traditional Celtic seasonal festivals will now be public holidays.
I love that.
I love that too, of course. So if you are looking for ways that you can celebrate Imbolc on your own, even if you are not in Ireland, sadly, like me.
I know.
Since Imbolc is a post-holiday season, it's a great time to embrace simple celebrations. And this is all about reconnecting with nature. I feel like every time we talk about one of these holidays, one of the suggestions is like, just go for a nature walk. But that's still true.
Yeah.
Because you can start to look for the early signs of spring.
Of growth, yeah.
Now, if you're in Kentucky right now,
Don't
go for a walk.
Until next weekend.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah. Don't get out there.
But look out your windows, maybe. You know, look for are there birds on your windowsills like there are here?
Ask them for their blessing because
Talk to the birds.
They keep giving us gifts. So what's happening?
Other things you can do on the inside, you can host a candlelight dinner. Like I said earlier, like fire is a big part of this holiday. So candles are a great way to demonstrate that. Obviously, candles are about fire.
What?
Hot take. Literally. Create meals with intention for what you want to accomplish in the coming year. Create authentic medieval fare such as roasted meats, hearty breads, and old-fashioned desserts.
Give me all the things.
Have a romantic dinner for 2 or a special dinner for a few of your favorite people. Decorate your favorite room with candles in the evening. Take time to meditate or journal in your candlelit room. Take some time to go outside and enjoy the lengthening days and increased sunlight.
But just on a warmer day.
Yeah. And then the last one was, take a walk outside and enjoy the lengthening days and appreciate this period of rest for the earth and Mother Nature.
I love it.
So my favorite one on this list is taking time to meditate or journal in your candlelit room because it's such an easy way if you're journaling or meditating to focus on making the plans you want to make to get going, you know? So
yeah, it just kind of like pushes that forward.
Yeah. If you are in the Patreon, I'm going to put some tarot spreads and oracle spreads and things like that in there that you might want to check out if you are into that kind of thing for these witchy holidays. And whatever you decide to do to recognize the holiday, we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. And let us know what you decide to do today.
Yeah. We'd love to hear about it in the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We love you
so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.